Yeah, because this is the first one. We want to try to keep it.
Yeah, we'll do these regularly, and then people join on time. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Genji?
Yo, dude. Hey. So yeah, and if anybody has questions in the meantime, either you can ask them by voice or just type it down. We're gonna continue waiting until we have a good number, and maybe we can just start talking of our ideas, our vision.
Guys, thanks for having this AMA. I'm really excited about your project. I've been shilling it everywhere I can. I guess, I guess it's more than a question. I'm just curious about more details about the overarching, the project. I guess I understand the Mundus, like creating a world where we play gods, but even then, like, will other people be playing inside of the game world with us, or how does that work exactly?
Multiplayer, yeah.
Okay.
Zoldo can probably give you a better picture of the overarching thing. I can give better details on particulars about Mundus as a game and the technology we're going to be using it.
Cool.
Zoldo?
And then,
yep. Yeah. So basically, Mundus is going to provide a survival genre experience mostly. So most players are going to experience the game that way. Like Minecraft style. The anima are going to play gods, but the idea is that like a magical phenomena are going to be really rare. That's why we're only having 800 of them. There will be, we will find ways to extract spells and leaving spellcasting up to mortals. They'll come in the future.
Yeah, so on-chain will be anima, and then for the game, anything that happens on-chain will be, I guess you could say, reflected in-game. So, like a basic example,
Or used, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the anima as abstract as possible, because Mundus is one of the directions we want to take. It's the first direction project we want to go towards in this ecosystem, because we thought it was a great idea to collaborate with the Lootverse at large and the Realmverse specifically. We already ran some tests on actually basically projecting the voxel maps for a realm into a vintage story, which we're not going to use, obviously, but we're trying to use this. We're expanding on the same engine of vintage story. Yeah. So we already, as proof of concept, done it on vintage story. Now it's a matter of actually creating our game for Mundus. But as I said, the idea is to keep the Astrals as abstract as possible. Create like different layers of incentives. So there's in-game incentives, and then you have also how spells and atoms are created. Create those at different layers with the interaction, how the way in the different anime interact with each other. Create that system. So we're trying to like develop both from top to bottom approach and bottom to top. So while we're also developing game, especially Muno is working more on that side. We're also working on creating the metrics and the blockchain systems so that we work towards from the more abstract to less abstract until we can actually connect by both sides. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment. Explore the different ways we can do this.
Yeah, and since we're pretty fresh and we're pretty new, we're going in a lot of directions at once right now. So that might make it less clear. But as we have a playable game out, and we put out demos and maybe a roadmap soon, it'll probably become more clear as well.
Okay. Z-Man has some questions. Can you just explain the different terms? Is Mundus the game, Anima the NFT? What is Observatorium? So, who wants to answer that?
Well, Muno already answered that, but his following question, will there be other NFTs? There will be. We're not gonna. It's still undecided at the moment exactly how we're gonna go about it, but we're thinking about introducing like archetypal souls, and these would come from Anima interacting with each other. But we kind of want to explore that a bit more before we give out too much.
Also since we want to reflect it in game, we have to bring forward the game development before we release new assets. We want to integrate Anima probably first, and then move on to adding new elements, new features.
Yeah, right now the Astral Animae are like the rarest of the assets of the entire project. Like, I mean, the starting of that will also give us and the entire team like a starting point to continue what we have in mind and what is the actual game design we want to actually create.
Yeah, I would also like to add that we're taking this step-by-step approach and this as general approach as possible because we want to leave space to as much integration as possible. So while this expands, if more people get to know about this project, we can find ways to be abstract enough to actually be able to integrate and expand the ecosystem as much as possible. So giving instead of thinking of only how the animas are going to go to Mundus, that's a good start. But we want to keep it so that other projects can develop in this ecosystem.
Yeah. So we're getting questions by Gogi Bear that I know we're early, but how's development going? So for development, I guess this is more technical details, but we are building off an engine called Manic Digger, which is used by Vintage Story and Hightail. Hightail is probably better heard of. We have quite a bit of experience modding that engine, so right now we're just, cleaning it up, setting up for our own purposes, and then later on we can release either pictures or gameplay, but right now it's technical stages mostly.
Hey Kat, what's going on?
Hey man. Don't mind me, I'm just going to be in the background.
Okay, cool. Glad you're here, by the way. So, Z-Man, so right now, what we know for sure about integrating the realms in Mundus is we're going to project the realm maps in the game. So we're creating this survival genre gameplay in this voxel engine based on the realms. So we're going to use the realms as a setting, and then as the realms evolves in parallel, we'll as both projects go along, we'll figure out ways to integrate parts of it, because both projects are composable in nature. So, hope that answers the question.
Yeah, in its most basic form, it will be a Minecraft-esque game server, which reads stuff from on-chain, and it's reflected in the world.
Yeah, we just thought the vision of being able to project worlds into voxel games and being able to create that layer, but also having it interact with more abstract levels like spirits and gods, elements, magic, and to actually visualize it in game would have been would be amazing. I mean, it's something we've talked about a lot, and I think it's something that is missing still from this. I don't think there's any ecosystem that is actually doing it yet. So we just thought it would be an amazing vision, creating layers of actual in-game gameplay in realms, so realm holders will be able to project this world, create this world where people can actually play in, and this world being influenced by gods. So things like even blocking out the sun, creating an eclipse. That's the one thing I'm most looking forward to. Just the idea of the sun turning black and that influencing, the growth of the plants and wildlife inside, creating, it'd be amazing. That's what we're working towards, one step at a time, creating as many of these layers.
Modules.
So step by step. So are all zones connected? Will gods battle each other? So it's really a step by step. What can we integrate, and then moving forward, what we can add more and more on.
Okay.
So bringing on-chain events to the game world.
Okay, so what will be the barrier to entry for a new player? Will the gods battle each other, or are all zones connected? Okay. So, Zedlin, do you want to answer this, or do you want me to?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so during alpha, we'll let Lords holders in. We'll have a minimum amount, probably. We're not sure about that yet, and then Astral Animae holders. That's why, we made the collection this limited, because Astral Animae holders can act as basically testers during alpha. So, and then later on, the idea was to have archetypal souls as an entry level NFT for players, and basically a game pass, and it should be pretty cheap, but that could be a reward system for Astral Animae holders. And we discussed really generally how constellations can work. We have some notes on that we're still looking into before we get into too much detail publicly about it. But Anthony, if you want to have anything else to add.
No, exactly. These are just, we're at an exploring ideas stage and how we can and one of the things ideas we explored is actually having these let's say typical souls that are, as Zedlin said, like in-game passes, and it would be a good way to create another incentive structure down. It's like you project the world, and it's like, okay, but what happens in it? You just have people playing it, yes, but people have to buy the right to play in that realm. So there's an incentive already to try to create these worlds and maintain them the best they can. There would be incentives for gods to protect certain realms or to destroy certain realms, especially if we're able to create a good way to actually create layers of inter-realm conflict. That would be just amazing, because at that point you could have in-game players that. What we want to do is that at one point there's even like the concepts of like sacrificing or prayers, so like giving resources to gods, and the gods basically you have people that sorry about that. There's that layer where people would be sacrificing resources, giving resources to gods. Gods would be giving life, and gods would also be would want to, protect certain realms or destroy, let's say, enemy realms. So you have already layers of conflict between realms and between gods and players. So it's the way these three systems, they can all this can interact with each other is just endless. Like I said, right now we're at idea stage. It's one step at a time, but that's basically our vision and end goal for Mundus.
Goji asked, he likes our comparison with the Anima to the Maiar and the Polar, and he asked if Middle-earth style lore will have a big impact on the worlds. Middle-earth, so Tolkien's work, H.P. Lovecraft, and Warhammer are basically our biggest inspirations. So I'd say, yeah. The idea is that we have Anima be the most powerful casters in the game, almost to like an unfair level. And I don't want to say this to like hype up the Anima, but we do want Magic to be rare and like very difficult to channel.
Maybe it would be more abundant at first, but while the more people use the ecosystem, come into the ecosystem, it would turn into something rarer and rarer. That I think that's the best way. That'd be the coolest thing. Is at first, it's abundant, but as the universe expands, as the cosmos, astral planes expand, then it becomes rarer and rarer.
That's something we'll only find out later. Obviously, we probably won't be able to have just one server holding every single player. That'll be one of the problems.
Networking is always a nightmare aspect.
But we have this idea about since we're reflecting on-chain assets to the game, it doesn't really matter that everybody's in a single server, because changes to whatever's going on chain. You can have multiple servers and still have them affected by the chain. So maybe not fully everybody's in the same world, but affected by the same, let's say, environment.
Yeah, I also want to add, we're actively looking for talented .NET engineers. So we'll have more concrete answers about technical specs. Even if we don't find anybody, I mean, we're still prepping everything. So.
Yeah, it's a matter of speeding things up. If we can find other developers.
To offer resources, of course.
Yeah.
Or speed. Yeah.
Yeah, of Astral Anima, 800 is the most there will ever be. I'm part of Neo Tokyo. We hold MMAs, hosting other projects, usually in exchange for whitelist, but in this case, could be a sellout for your project. Are you interested in seeing it?
Are you talking about Neo Tokyo identities? Or like the ecosystem? Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah, definitely, absolutely interested. Yeah. Maybe we can schedule a quick call just to talk about that. Maybe. Tokyo Identities is pretty big.
Yeah, it's cool. Also, a guy in here Ben is on the Neo Tokyo.
Okay, so really, like, we're role players, right? So our bias is to try to make an immersive environment for players. So the gameplay style would be Worm Unlimited, Worm Online, if you've ever heard of that game, where there's a lot of crafting, a lot of, what's the word for it? There's a lot of scarcity. It's like everybody starts in abject poverty usually, and these role-play servers are the norm. But we'll see, based on feedback too, we'll try to, provide the best experience. But the main idea is survival.
Survival, is the base.
Yeah, and obviously similar to other voxel games as well, but with a bigger focus on the hardcore aspects. But obviously, at the end of the day, whatever players enjoy playing, and in a way that we can integrate it with on-chain.
We're playing around with the idea. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's really going forward. We'll see it because we'll start by connecting. So again, I guess I'm repeating myself, but the game. So we have the engine. We're cleaning it up. We're getting it up to speed. So we have like some basic servers running. But there's a lot of work to do for it. And as we get that going, we'll connect it with on-chain assets, and then we'll go further with that, and then at some point, I guess we'll find out what's the worst penalty if you have a game connected with on-chain assets, what you could do with it.
I just want to add, we liked permadeath.
I don't know if that's good for public. We worked like nearly 2 years on a mod for the game Vintage Story, which uses the same engine, and we were experimenting a lot with the permadeath aspect, but I don't know if it's a good idea for an actual game to do it.
Yeah,
or a game of this nature.
We were.
Maybe we can move also on
the anime, or something on the soul,
because it would be kind of brutal if you lost your soul once you died.
Oh, I want to comment here, right? Like, you're not forced to lose your assets, right? At the end of the day, it's going to be you gambling or you speculating that's going to lose you those assets. So perhaps there won't be permadeath, but in some similar nature, you could probably ruin yourself in game.
Pay to reincarnate.
Yeah, why not? But we'll see. We'll obviously see. It can't be too brutal because then nobody will enjoy it, nobody will play it. And part of what we're trying to do is drive on-chain value by adding entertainment value to assets. And we actually want people. We don't want everybody playing, but we also don't want only 2 people playing who are really hardcore.
I would also like to quickly add. No, go ahead, Xeldon.
Real fast, these are all going to be open systems, so anybody can make consumption spells to consume anima or anything really.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. Is we're just trying to create as open of a system as possible. So the more freedom, the better. Now, obviously, we have to see up to what point, but it would be ideal if whoever creates the worlds, whoever materializes the worlds, decides up to a certain extent how, let's say, brutal it is, and then it's a bit the market decides. If players don't want to go into a world that is too brutal, then whoever materialized a world with rules that are a little bit less brutal, might have more people flowing towards it. So But ideally, the more open, the better. At least that's my philosophy. But we'll decide down the road, also based on feedback and yeah.
We do plan a lot of interaction with the Lord's token. Our tokens are more esoteric. We'll try as much as possible to integrate the realm's resources. I suspect that's going to be further down the road where we can make a sustainable system for that. But Lord holders will immediately be able to join Alpha, and later on it'll be a big part of our influence system with NPCs, and it's more of a control token, control metric in game.
I would like to answer Dehan that we're actually exploring a way in which we can be linked to the loot lore, but I don't think we're comfortable revealing that yet because we don't want to. I don't think it's the right moment exactly right now, but we are exploring ways in which, in this multiverse that we're trying to create, as I said, we're trying to keep it as abstract as possible. There is a way to interpret the anima in ways that's connected to a lootverse. So I think that's obviously integration for us is really important. With a lootverse, it'd be perfect because they're our type of our type of thing. I mean, Zeldwin dragged me into this, showed me lootverse in the realms, and I was blown away. So it's our style. If we are able to integrate, that'd be amazing. But we're trying to keep our system as abstract as possible, so that we can we can integrate with as many people as possible in different ways. Imagine us live as a multiverse.
GM, sorry, I'm late.
Hello. Good morning. Yeah, there will be a minimum amount of lords, and also I just wanted to add, we're not native to loot, but there are loot projects that we're already collaborating with. That's the banners and the rift. And at first it's going to look really simple, but later on we hope to, as the projects develop in parallel, we hope to be able to create as many channels between the modules as possible. Yeah, we can talk about that. The idea was that we wanted to keep the realms limited when it came to projecting them in game. We wanted to focus on a couple realms, maybe find one of our realms and host that up, start that way. Yeah, certainly that would make sense. Hey, good questions, by the way.
Yeah.
Cause a meteor strike on your enemies or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop the rain.
I like the aspect of having some overarching power, because that adds roleplay essence, right? If you have somebody that can pretty freely do anything, then at that point you can get invested in roleplay, because you're not actually fighting over resources. You're you're sort of choosing whether to do good or bad.
Yeah, I would like to answer to Banner's occasion. That's actually something we've talked about also, of Mundus maybe predating. Yeah, that's a possibility, definitely.
Yeah, this Mundus is a spiritual successor to a project we worked on a couple of years ago, or that we started a couple of years ago. And that was a Neolithic fantasy setting that we were building. So we have a lot of assets of prehistorical creatures. And
I want to interject real quick. Do you have any pictures you can link? Because I don't have any on hand for it.
I do have a couple at the crew real quick. If anybody else has them at hand,
I'll see if I have some also. Can link some stuff we did from the mod, because we put in a lot of pixel art in it as well, so we have some pretty impressive visuals and a lot of coding. One of the things we actually did on the mod was a world generated by I don't know how to say this in like a understandable way, just like we have a PNG and like each color value affects, I think red was the biome, green was the landform, and blue was the temperature or something of that nature. And then we could draw an image basically of the world map, and it would generate this whole world for us. And that's kind of similar to what we could do with bringing something on-chain to the game world and generation of it.
Yes, most likely, or for sure, we'll be using DHAM's work. We'll perhaps use different scales and just follow the volume data, but it's most likely what it'll look like.
Yep, and since we can already link that from an image format, we can link it from other formats, no problem. Yes, Sky Warrior says so, but not only like landforms, there's also temperature and etc. Yeah, very very Grugverse, because the mod we were doing was it's more fitting to the theme of like a Grugverse. Yeah, very prehistoric and sort of fighting against nature, I guess. The engine, well, it's obviously not as feature-rich as Minecraft, and it's not as feature-rich as the predecessors like Vintage Story and Hytale, but it is open source. It is coded in C#, so it's a modern language, and it's very open to modding. So in that regard, I would say it's like way ahead of Minecraft, and that's why 2 successful games have been made out of it. But feature-wise, no. Feature-wise, we have to add things. So we're updating the engine. It's like a bunch of technical details, like getting debugging working properly, and just really early beginnings. But we'll have a roadmap, and there you'll be able to learn more about the development process and what's taking us time and where we're going with it.
Yeah, we were even talking about like while we keep developing on the actual game engine, as soon as it's possible, like start actually organizing maybe bonfires there. We thought it would have been it would be cool.
Yeah, that would be super.
So you can all see also the progress of the actual game engine while we can hold these bonfires. Maybe hold a physical bonfire in game. That'd be, I think, pretty cool.
To support the project, feedback, I think most importantly. Just even attending these bonfires, keeping up with the ideas, any sort of contribution, we're totally open. Those are a couple ways. And of course, the idea is that we raise funds by delivering, right now, really generally, the idea is every module we add, we basically find ways to fund when necessary.
Yeah, an important part right now for us is also finding additional developers. Don't really need that many people. We already have some, but helping hands.
To speed up the process, mainly.
I wouldn't even say speed up as much as how to put it. We still have to onboard them and everything, but after that, later on, it will add the speed. Right now, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
Amazing maps, DM. Yeah, DM makes incredible work. Always mind blown. Yeah, Goji, it really looks like Grug's gonna. We're just mind blown. We really think, Grug's gonna be a central part in the lore. It's gonna build up around the Dark Lord. It would. I mean, to us, it'd be a dream. We come from Neolithic aesthetics. So.
Yeah.
It's almost like a dream come true.
Yeah, some lore like the dark times of Dark Lord Grug.
Can you just import any kind of polygon asset in the engine? Right now, it wouldn't be that quick to do, but it's definitely something that's possible. The rift and banners. So, okay, right now, starting with the banners maybe, we're thinking they're going to be drops in special events in the game, because we do intend to explore that side of it once we have the basics working. And so, as a first collab project, we can have these as rare drops in like reliquary areas. When it comes to the rift, that's going to be a bit more advanced. The banners the idea is to have the banners explore, maybe using them for NPCs in similar ways. An old Minecraft mod for Lord of the Rings. The rift would be that we're trying to think of ways how their mana token, Amna, could be used as a channel, like a utility token, to essentially pay anima for spells. So, and that could be the arcane magic, like how in D&D there's two main magic types, and then there's 8 paths. The two main types are divine and arcane, and divine could be the animas themselves acting, or events, phenomena from the astral plane, the realm of the anima. And the arcane magic could be essentially morals, channeling mana up.
So, any more questions from anyone? Right, so we're working on a roadmap, so look forward to that. We'll definitely have like a definite plan in 2 weeks, I would say. No longer than that. Also, we'll probably hold another bonfire in 2 weeks as well.
Together and
yeah,
sweet. A bit more information.
We can probably wrap up right about now, so we're not dragging out everybody's time for 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for
Thanks
for coming to our first AMA. Yeah.
For you all guys.
Thank you all.
I'm nervous, you know. I'm here after work, but I'm super happy to be part of it all, and I'm even more happy to be working on a game.
Super exciting, man.
Yeah. Hopefully, soon we'll be able to have an in-game bonfire.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We do have a server working.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid that if we hosted one right away on the server, it would probably crash it.
Nah, maybe it is better in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Let's do it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, like as Muno said, we have an engine working, so technically we're already in alpha. But yeah, we'll open it up, hopefully very soon. Awesome. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, and for any more questions, DM us or post in the chat, and we'll get back to you all.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Have a good rest of the morning.
Bonfire.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. See you next bonfire.
Bye.
Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.